This is Andy Purewal for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by $1 Million Crolla, Anthony Crolla over Zoom. Anthony, how are you doing?
And all good, mate. I'm just here at my son's football practice and catching up with you, mate, and looking forward to the action that's coming up in the boxing world.
I know that you're obviously looking after your son there who's training, so I appreciate you just kind of stepping away for 5-10 minutes. Obviously, a lot going on with Gallagher's gym at the minute, and one man who's returning who is excited. A lot of people to see him back in the ring.
Yes.
Callum Johnson. How has Callum been looking in the gym?
Mate, Callum looks fantastic. It's no secret. It's not ideal at Callum's age to be out the ring 2 years, or at any age to not to have been active for 2 years. But he's in a fantastic place, shape-wise, as you can see on the pictures. It looks phenomenal. Mentally, he seems very good. But I say it all the time, and me and Joe was saying it. Although with age, he's still very fresh. He's not had the hard fights. I mean, since the Beterbiev fight, I mean, you don't want them every week, but it wasn't a drawn 12-out slugfest. Do you know what I mean? And I think with that, I'm certainly not going to say the break's done him good, because it wouldn't have done, but I don't think it'll play such a big factor. He's come back before from ring rust, but I think the main thing is now for him to be active and prove he's capable of winning the world title, proving going on to win a world title, which I believe he can do.
Is there a pressure around Callum at all from what you've seen for him to kind of be successful over his next year or so, because it could well be his last opportunity?
Well, like I said, it's certainly not it's certainly not got time on his side where he can have an handful of fights to build up to world level. I think Callum's like, listen, fight on Saturday night, get my world ranking, I'm ready for Joe Smith. There's also 2 other British fighters who would probably like that fight. So losing the ranking duel with Frank as well. But yeah, Callum certainly feels ready for that world title shot. Like I say, he's not been active like under the lights, but he's been in the gym all that time, and he's world-class sparring and stuff. So holding himself very well. Joe's very happy with him where he's at, and we're just happy to see him back out on Saturday night.
And talk to me about Markich's opponent. What do you guys know about him, and what should we all expect from him?
I'll be honest, I've only seen a little bit of him. Joe studied him in depth. So there's no denying, looking at his record, and no matter what you say of the level of opposition, he's got a lot of knockouts on there, so it would suggest that he can punch. That certainly seems the case. And I think Joe said, his 2 losses have come to world champion people who've gone on to win world titles, I think Joe said. So I'll be honest, I've not seen a load of him. But I think, listen, it's the kind of opponent that he needs. Certainly expect him round. And listen, Callum wins that. He goes into the top 15 of the WBO, and that's the plan, to fight Joe Smith Jr. I'm pretty sure of that. Joe will tell you that. I'm sure Frank, the promotional team, will tell you that as well. The aim for Callum Johnson is to get another crack at a world title.
I mean, just on Joe Smith Jr., he obviously fought recently. What have you guys in the gym, and what has Callum made of his recent victory against Vlasov?
Callum's fancied the fight for a long time. I mean, Callum, Joe will tell you, probably heard himself, straight after the Bertiev fight, he wanted it again. After the Beterbiev fight, he wanted it again. And he's seen as the most feared man in the division. And I think Joe Smith and Joseph Jr. and Callum Johnson, it would be fireworks. It could be absolutely brutal. So I think the fans would be a winner there. But yeah, I know, Joe, that's a fight that Joe wants for him. Callum just wants to fight them all. He genuinely does. Like I just said, the Beterbiev rematch is something he'd love.
And then obviously just coming away from Callum in just over a week's time, Marcus Morrison, Chris Eubank Jr., a fight which certainly came out of the blue, Anthony. Just kind of talk to me about that, and how confident is Marcus that he will be able to overcome Chris Eubank Jr., because he is the heavy underdog?
Of course, he's a huge underdog, but Marcus is in a good place and he understands, he's a huge underdog going in there. But I think he's got that attitude. I think he's enjoying that. He's relieved of almost any pressure. He's got his own expectations and the expectations of what Joe expects from him. They're putting in the hard work. He seems in the shape of his career, and rightly so he should be. But he can't wait for it. And, stylistically, listen, there's no denying. I'm not going to sit here and suggest it wouldn't be a huge upset. But I think Marcus has got the shots to cause Junior problems. But he's going in with a world-class fighter in Junior. And he can't wait for it.
How does Marcus need to approach this fight, Anthony? We know in Eubank Jr.'s case, he's high action, high energy from the start. How does Marcus approach it?
He can't be overawed by the occasion, for starters. I think there's one thing, obviously, you've got to respect Junior. People will have their opinion on him, but he prepares like he's very, very training. You see how much the graft he puts in. And like I say, people have an opinion on Junior, but one thing you can't deny is he's a hard worker, and he seems to be improving. I fought against, it's a long time ago now because everything was going on, but I fought against James DeGale. He showed another side to him. He's shown him a clever side to him, what he'd not shown before. Used his brain, used his boxing brain. And listen, I know it was a James DeGale, that was where he passed his best, but still, he outfought. He outfought as him fine, but he also outfought James DeGale at times. So that's all I want to say. And no matter whether it was a James Gale that was way past his best, it was he's still done it. So I think he is improving. His boxing IQ is improving, and obviously with Roy Jones, you expect more improvements. But Marcus is looking forward to the fight.
And then obviously just moving forwards on the same card later on in the night, Taylor-Jonas challenges Katie Taylor. Again, Tasha being the underdog in it, but what should we expect from the fight?
I think you expect a brilliant fight, and one of the biggest fights in the women's game that can take place. And I think both girls will put on a show. And the Taylor-Jonas, again, she's going in a big underdog, but I believe she's a very live one. That's what I believe. Katie is a special fighter. Clarissa Shields will probably say different, but in my opinion, the greatest woman we've seen in the game, what she's done for it. But I believe Tasha's a very live underdog. I genuinely mean it when I say, and you probably heard Joe say it time and time again, she's improving. She's improving, and it's as good as I've ever seen her. And again, she's going to have to produce something better than she's ever produced before. But I believe she's got a great chance, and mentally she's in a fantastic place.
And just while you're obviously going to ask about your own charges, Rhiannon Dixon, Mr. Moorcroft, Alex Delmagani, how's everybody looking?
Yeah, everyone looks really well, genuinely. James Moorcroft, he's got the fight with Anthony Tomlinson. That's going to be a great fight. Really looking forward to that. James has made some great improvements. One of the hardest workers that I know. Alex is back in the gym. Obviously, he was out in sparring. I mean, he's always in the gym, but he was out in Dubai helping Carl Frampton for his preparation. So that was I know he's been all over the world, but that was great experience for him. So he's just going to get back in action soon. Rhiannon, we're just waiting on that date. I'm hoping it's going to come very soon. You know how high I speak of her, and I've got really high hopes for her. She's improving all the time. Great story. I've said it before. The story alone could get her the shot, but get her a chance. But like I've said, it'll be a talent that keeps her there. I really got high hopes for Rhiannon. And Jake James is out he's on the 6th of June on one of the Dennis Hobson shows. So he's back, James. Jake James, confusing. I'm doing it daily with James Moorcroft and Jake James having similar names. So Jake James, he's what Jake's on the 6th of June, back in action, the 6-rounder. And Jake's got great boxing IQ, lovely stylistically at times. He just, let himself go far too big after an injury. But he's now looking like a fighter again, like a boxer again. And he's getting sharper and sharper as the weeks go on. And I'm looking forward to having him back out. And he seems in a good place now. There's loads of improvements to be made from all. But Joe physically with Jake as well. And I'm excited for it all with him.
Then just final couple of quick things I want to touch on. This past weekend, Demetrius Andrade defeating Liam Williams. Your thoughts, Anthony?
I thought, Liam, I was shouting at the telly at times. every time he buzzed Andrade twice and genuinely buzzed him as well. And I thought, like, this is your moment, this is your chance. But it was like he'd either get tied up or the shots won't come off. But I thought Lee improved. He can come again at world level for sure. So strong. But listen, also showed a sign of Andrade where he's got lovely skills, sharp, powerful, slick. He's a hard man to beat, a real hard man to beat. And I think there is a reason why he's avoided for sure. I think the difference in the fight was the lead right uppercut from obviously from the southpaw stand. It was a beautiful shot. And, you know, every time I thought Liam might take over, he'd get caught with one of them and he might get buzzed himself. But yeah, Liam can come again. I think one of the nicest things I've seen was the homecoming he got, you know, on his street. Just little things like that, really nice, well deserved as well.
And then the final one this coming weekend on the same card as Callum Johnson, Denzel Bentley, Felix Cash. Many theatres, a 50-50 fight. Your thoughts, Anthony?
I can't wait for it. Do you know what? Honestly, Andy, genuinely, yesterday I picked. So I had to stick with him because, like, I'm back and forth all the time, but I nearly keep thinking, well, have I made the right choice? Because it is a genuine 50-50. I thought I've gone Cash. But I was really impressed with Bentley, especially in the second fight with Mark Efron. Do you know, he showed another side to his game, and I think that's kind of fight would have done him the world of good for the rematch, for the fight with Felix Cash. Seemed good. I think for me, they're both gonna have the moment. So it's who stays calm under fire. You know, who keeps the red, who sticks to the plan like most fights. Certainly in a fight like this, because I believe both will have the moment. Gone Cash, but it's with no confidence whatsoever. I don't feel it's strong lad, but there's a bit more, you know, defense is improving all the time. I think that's going to be important in this fight, but I didn't realise how high of a KO ratio Bentley's got. It's a tough one, man. I know, listen, only because you're asking me and I try not to sit on the fence, I'm going Cash, but if I could sit on the fence for this, it would. But I'm looking forward to a great fight from both lads. I say it all the time, you rarely see a bad British title fight.
Right, Anthony, we'll leave that there now. I'll leave you to go and look after your son. Thank you for your time and thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Take care.